Hello. So today I would like to talk about certain subject which is a little bit related to authenticity, being real, being true to yourself. It's a little bit different vocabulary, maybe different angle. It's about being somebody or being nobody. So I watched some video that inspired me to talk about it. I may give you the link at the end in the sorry, something popping up on my screen. Anyway, so being somebody and being nobody. So according to whatever video is saying, it's based on Lao Tzu teachings, Chinese philosopher, thinker, long time ago. He says that being somebody is weakness and being nobody is power. So this could be some confusion because there are famous people. Maybe they are true to themselves. I don't know, because they are born into certain families, or they are scientists, and many people know about them. So it's not like they necessarily are playing the game, but this is what their nature very often. I mean, not very often. There are some scientists who pretend to, but anyway, it's um, it's more about regular people. When I was young, I was very often thinking, what's my talent? What I can give to the world? And in the same time, maybe, what make me known. I wanted to contribute something important. So we were raised like that. Especially, my mother was pushing, for education or for some other things, that will make me, in her eyes, have a easy life, be affluent in things, have things, travel. What she couldn't do, she just put in me. So it was her, and I somehow from young age I was more interested in inner life, in in exploring these philosophical ideas, why I am born here, why I am here, why I don't feel comfortable here, like I don't belong. First, I thought I don't belong in Poland. So I somehow ended up in Japan, but then I didn't feel like, for in the beginning maybe I felt like Japanese because I was all excited that I actually my dreams came true, but it was like I still was among people, and whole, when I was growing, learning more and understanding politics, it was like I don't belong to this planet for some reason. The system is foreign to me. I was like living in different world before I started, reading books, and I came across Barbara Marciniak about Pleiadians. So when I read those books, I mean, I found many, things that agreed with me. So I thought, oh, I am Pleiadian. I came from Pleiades. So, I just like wanted to define myself anyway. And it's like being Pleiadian is being somebody, right? And my looks too. I started going white hair around 40 years old. So I was like, yes, I am Pleiadian. I even look like Pleiadian. So anyway, just I'm trying to point out that I didn't come with the idea, being somebody or being nobody. But with, a constant learning and listening to different people, and, when you look for something, you will find it. The thing that you're looking for will find you eventually. So it seems like, I was given gradually more and more deep things that I was looking for. So it wasn't like jumping all around. I chose it. It was like it was coming to me, like somebody was guiding me. So anyway, I came, like 10 years ago. I was going, listening to lectures of one of my, I would say friends, because I know him already like 25 years or more. And he was saying, don't think about yourself as self, like you're somebody. You're nobody. Think about yourself that you're nobody. You're a cartoon character in the movie. And I couldn't get it for a very long time. How come? I'm an important person. I am somebody, right? And after a while, I started understanding what it meant. It's not like erasing yourself, but being more true to yourself without trying to become somebody, like be somebody, like impress other people or adjust to other people. So eventually I started calling it, authenticity, being genuine, being true to yourself. And, with my inner confidence, I developed it eventually. Because I think you have to have confidence. People get confidence from being somebody, so from being somebody on outside. But then, I already talked many times that, if we live in simulation, there is no outside world. It's a fake world. Whatever we see plus whatever we feel and whoever we attract, it's based on our thoughts, beliefs, emotions. So I also explained one time that if you attract somebody that does something you don't like, it's not necessarily because you are the same, even though it could be, but it could also be that you have belief about people like that. So you have to change it inside you, change the belief, change the definition, and then it clears eventually on outside. So if you want to become somebody, you just work hard to become either famous or recognized for something. acknowledged by people, and some kind of importance you have. And this is ego, I would say. But we have ego, so we cannot suppress it. And it is not advised to suppress it, actually, because it could be helpful in certain situations. So we just have to befriend ego, so it does not feel insecure, does not jump, and just does not try to protect itself. So anyway, so because people strive to be recognized, acknowledged, maybe in the group they are in, they like adjust constantly and play their role in that group. And if the person is with somebody else, want to impress the person with something else. So you like constantly have to play a role. With children, you will play a role of mother, right? And in the office, you play a role of good worker. So to me right now, the most important thing is to be myself. But I think you need that inner confidence, have developed, because otherwise most of people take confidence from outside world, which is not real, which just responds to whatever you feel inside. So if you feel insecure, you get more insecurity. So anyway, it's much easier if you're genuine, if you're true to yourself, if you're nobody. You don't put any importance on you. And even if you are, let's say, like there was a story about the master who was very wise, but nobody knew about him. And some person found him and asked him, how come you have such a knowledge? You should share it with other people. And he just said, whoever needs to know will find me in natural way. So this is how universe works. Whatever we seek, it will provide us, especially when it's related to our growth. So anyway, I'm talking already too much, I think. So if you are nobody, you are actually very strong, because nobody can nobody, right? Nobody can destroy you, nobody can offend you, nobody can do any harm to you, because you are nobody, so nobody cares. So, and whoever needs your help, the person will find you. So you will fulfill your role no matter what. You will never be alone. So you just be who you are. And people actually, when they see other people pretending, they feel it. They feel that they are not genuine. So some people treat it as normal thing because they do same things, but most of people wouldn't trust people who pretend. So anyway, it's better to be nobody. And if you are nobody, invisible, you have the power to. So your your confidence does not depend on how people judge you, how smart you are, or somebody recognize you as smart. So it does not actually affect you, because being invisible and nobody just makes you strong, in the same way that nobody will attack you. There is nothing they can grab to attack you. So let me look at my notes. So that quiet strength that you carry inside is very powerful. Also, strength is in surrender, letting go. So if you were playing roles and trying to be somebody, letting that go will make you stronger. It's very difficult if you are used to it. So first you just notice. I mean, this is meant for people who want to grow spiritually. So for those who are not interested, it's okay. There are multiple types of people we live together. So, anyway, if you want to grow, you just let go that importance, your importance, right? Your fame, or trying to impress people, manipulate people. So this is your strength, actually. So you don't have to be special like everybody else. You don't have to have status like everybody else is getting confidence from that. You don't have to build your own brand like all the other people do. You don't have to even post on social media, because people on social media, it's like competing, how many followers they have, how many likes they have. They like, wow, they liked it. Oh, they didn't like that. And then, it's stress for you if you constantly watch how people judge you. But if you're nobody, invisible, it does not bother you. So, anyway, anonymity, sorry, anonymity is a strength. Nobody knows you. You don't have to perform. You are in constant peace. You are grounded. You don't have to strive to convince people about anything. You just lead your normal life and you are happy in this way. So, because if you strive, if you try to convince, to manipulate people to think that you're smart, or you know something, or you are beautiful, or you are, I don't know what else. If you're trying to get that, there will be always people who disagree. So, and especially if they know you are not sincere, then they will not react the way you expect. So you live your truth. It's the best thing to do. And And I think that's about it. So when you really want to change, you start from noticing and then go progressing, you know. The more you notice, the more you can change yourself. So, I'm not sure about myself. I think I am kind of authentic, but because, sometimes maybe, I won't say something that I think to the person that I know thinks the opposite, just to avoid, argument. But it's not like I'm lying, right? It's just talk about subjects that are, for both people important. We don't have to agree on politics. Politics is just tiny thing. We agree on COVID, we agree on different things, and normal life things. So it's not important to be on the same side in politics. But I do see, that my friends are trying to convince me to change the, the group. I don't think I belong to any group, but it's how they think. And some are saying that I am, the leftist, right? Because they don't recognize the neutral group. They only think, MAGA or leftists. So they don't see people who were really truly MAGA that started seeing the truth, because I mean it's so visible, So it is what it is. So again, it's not bad to be somebody. Not every person wants to be nobody. Not every person can do it, because we have different people on different levels of growth. So if you're more materialistic, live in material world, believe in material world, then it's normal. But if you look closely, you see how much effort it takes to be somebody. How much, play you have to, how much brain you have to use to maintain certain image of yourself. If it's normal, if it's truthful, you don't have to do it. You are who you are. So, anyway, I'm not criticizing people who choose to be in the material world. I myself want to see the other part, invisible part of the world we are living in. I cannot see with eyes, but I can feel it. I can feel, and the more I learn, the more I feel, and I rely on my intuition. My intuition actually do not, how to say, disappoint me. My intuition usually is right. So even if I choose something that is not pleasant for me, but I choose it because I see potential in the situation that will make me grow. This is why I sometimes get in touch with people who are mean. But it usually they usually help me because for already many years I consider that every person we encounter uh, have something to offer us, some kind of lesson. So you don't just put this person out of sight or push it away. I mean, you can do it, but also you learn something. Why? You always ask the question when you meet somebody, why this person appeared in my life? What is the purpose of this person for me? So usually you will find, you just examine what emotions you have, and then you may recall that something in your childhood happened, and then the problem eventually gets resolved, and the person moves away because you passed your lesson, your exam, I guess. So the more you grow internally, the more control you have over your life, and also the less suffering, more peace you have inside. So I myself choose to be nobody, and I mean, right now, since I'm still learning, I will share what I'm finding, because I don't know. I am probably not nobody yet at that level. So I will be sharing about all my findings about creation, and just living your life as happy as possible. So I'm trying to go out every day in the nature. Nature is very healing. The color green and the ocean and the sound of waves, it's very calming. So whatever stress you have, if you have, I don't have much stress right now because I don't go to work. Maybe if I have to go to the doctor, I have to think about some plan to convince him that I want this, but not what the doctor wants. I always study my ailments before I go to the doctor, so I know what to expect. Because I see people who just trust doctors and they go wrong direction. My husband was like that, and my friend right now too. She has problems because she trusted doctors and they betrayed her. So, but she's still okay. So, Anyway, let's strive to be nobody. Only if you can do it. But if you prefer to be in materialistic world, it's okay too. Whole this simulation world belongs to us. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will maybe post attach to this video some fragments of the parts of the original video, and I will talk to you again.
The master has no name.
Bye.
The sage is invisible. Lao Tzu understood something that modern people have completely forgotten. Being somebody is weakness. Being nobody is power. You spend your entire life trying to build an identity, trying to become somebody, trying to be recognized. But the Taoists understood that this desperate need to be somebody is actually what prevents you from becoming truly powerful. When you need to be acknowledged, you are dependent on others' perception of you. When you need recognition, you are enslaved to their opinion. When you need to be known, you are constantly performing, constantly adjusting yourself based on feedback. But when you are nobody, when you don't need acknowledgement, when you don't care if you're recognized, you become free, and from that freedom comes real power. The person who needs to be somebody is weak because they are controlled by their need for validation. They are shaped by what others think. They are constantly adjusting themselves based on feedback. But the person who is content being nobody, that person is powerful because they are not controlled by anyone. That person is free to be themselves. That person is free to act without fear of judgment. That person is free to make decisions based on their own values instead of others' opinions. This is the true power. Not the power that comes from status or recognition, but the power that comes from freedom. There is a Taoist story about a master who was completely unknown. He lived in a small village where nobody had heard of him. Nobody came to learn from him because he had no reputation to attract them. He wanted nothing from anyone. He needed nothing from anyone. He was perfectly content being nobody in a world obsessed with being somebody. One day a student found him by accident. The student had been searching for years for a true teacher. When he found this master, he asked, "Master, how is it that you are unknown when you clearly possess great wisdom?" The master smiled and said, "Because I don't need to be known. The moment you need to be known, you become enslaved to the opinions of others." The student asked, "But wouldn't you want people to know about you? Wouldn't you want to help more people?" The master said, "I help those who need help. I teach those who are ready to learn. But I don't need to advertise myself. I don't need recognition. My peace doesn't depend on whether the world knows my name." This is the radical teaching that most people miss. Your power doesn't come from being known. Your power comes from not needing to be known. Your strength doesn't come from your status. Your strength comes from not needing status. Your peace doesn't come from recognition. Your peace comes from not needing recognition. Principle 1. Freedom from need. When you stop needing acknowledgement, you become free. This is the foundation of this entire teaching. Most people are enslaved by their need to be somebody, to be recognized, to be important. But this need is a chain that controls everything you do, every choice you make, every direction you move. But when you're content being nobody, that need disappears. And with it, the chain disappears. The power of invisibility. Invisibility is power. When people don't know who you are, they can't control you. When you have no reputation to protect, you have no weaknesses. When you have no image to maintain, no status to defend, no ego to feed, you are free to act without fear of judgment or loss. The invisible person can do what needs to be done, without the burden of maintaining an image. The invisible person can admit mistakes without fear of damaging their reputation. The invisible person can change direction without fear of what people will think. This freedom is power beyond anything that comes from status. The paradox of strength. The person who tries to look strong is actually weak because they are performing. They are trying to convince people that they are strong. But the person who is truly strong doesn't need to convince anyone. They don't perform. They don't try to look powerful. They just are. And paradoxically, this quiet strength is far more powerful than any performance could be. People sense the difference immediately. They can feel when someone is real versus when someone is performing. Real quiet strength is attractive. Performance is repelling. When you stop trying to be somebody, people are actually more drawn to you, not less. Releasing the performance. Your need to be somebody forces you to perform constantly. You perform at work, trying to look competent. You perform on social media, trying to look successful. You perform in relationships, trying to look like the right person. You're always on, always managing your image, always trying to make sure people see you the right way. This constant performance is exhausting. It's also dishonest. It prevents real connection because you can never be fully yourself. But when you're willing to be nobody, you can stop performing. You can be real. You can be yourself. You can show up without the mask. And paradoxically, when you stop performing, people are more drawn to you. Why? Because authenticity is attractive. Performance is repelling. People sense immediately when you're fake. But when you're real, when you're not trying to be anything, when you're not trying to impress, people feel it. They feel safe with you. They feel like they can be real with you. The strength in surrender. Surrendering the need to be somebody is the ultimate strength. It's not weakness. It's the opposite of weakness. It's the willingness to let go of what most people cling to desperately. It's the confidence to be nobody when everyone else is desperately scrambling to be somebody. This requires real strength, real courage, real self-trust, because the world is constantly telling you that you need to be somebody. You need to build a brand. You need to stand out. You need to be special. Not because you are trying to attract anyone, but because your peace is attractive. Your authenticity is magnetic. Principle 6. The Master and the Nobody. In many Taoist stories, the greatest masters are unknown. They don't seek students. Students find them. They don't advertise their wisdom. People discover it. They don't try to be important. They just live their lives fully and authentically. And because of this, they attract the people who need them. This is very different from the modern approach where you build your brand and market yourself constantly. The Taoist approach is to be so authentic, so peaceful, so grounded, that people naturally want to be around you. They seek you out. They want your guidance. Not because you advertised it, but because they can feel something. The journey from trying to be somebody to being content as nobody is a process. First, you notice your need to be acknowledged. You become aware of how much of your energy goes into managing your image. You notice how exhausting the performance is. This awareness is the first step. Then comes acceptance. You accept that you have been performing. You accept that you have been seeking acknowledgement. You don't judge yourself for it. You just acknowledge it clearly. From this acknowledgement comes the possibility of change. You can begin to practice being nobody. The practice is simple but not easy. Each time you feel the urge to perform, to manage your image, to impress someone, you notice it. You pause, and you choose not to do it. You choose to be real instead. You choose to be authentic. You choose to be nobody. At first, this feels uncomfortable. You'll feel exposed. You'll feel vulnerable. You'll worry about what people think. But if you persist, something remarkable happens. You realize that people don't actually care as much as you thought. And those who do care are actually repelled by your inauthenticity anyway. So by being nobody, by being authentic, you actually attract better people. You attract people who like you for who you really are, not for the performance you were putting on. These relationships are deeper, more real, more satisfying. This is worth the discomfort of being real. The peace of anonymity. There is a profound peace that comes from anonymity. When nobody knows your name, Nobody has expectations of you. Nobody is watching to see if you fail. Nobody is waiting for you to prove yourself. You are free from the constant surveillance of social comparison. This peace is available to you right now. You don't need to become famous and then become unknown again. You can simply choose to live as if you are unknown. You can stop posting on social media. You can stop trying to impress people. You can stop building your brand. You can simply live. And in this simplicity, in this anonymity, in this absence of performance, you'll discover a peace you didn't know was possible. You'll discover that you actually like yourself when you're not performing. You'll discover that people actually like you more when you're being real. You'll discover that life is actually easier when you're not trying to be somebody. Your truth. When you're nobody, you're finally free to live your truth. Your actual truth. Not the truth that will impress people. Not the truth that will get you likes on social media. Not the truth that will make you fit in. But your actual, real, authentic truth. This is liberating. This is peaceful. This is powerful. Because now you're living in alignment with who you actually are. And when you're aligned, everything becomes easier. Decisions become clearer. Relationships become deeper. Work becomes more satisfying. Life becomes more meaningful. Begin practicing this today. Notice when you're trying to be somebody. Notice when you're performing. Notice when you're trying to impress someone.